prophet like Moses, the 24th of April, 2025. On the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses, the death sentence shall be executed. A person must not be put to death on the evidence of only 1 witness. The hands of the witnesses shall be the first raised against the person to execute the death penalty. Deuteronomy chapter 17, 6-7. At first, the death penalty that God ordained and commanded people to carry out was on the basis of 2 or 3 witnesses. Then, because people did not follow this commandment, thinking themselves to be believers and pious, who would point out the wrong in their community and claim to be trying to solve it, God commanded them to have 4 witnesses instead. It is like God became angry that his commandment was not applied, and therefore punished people by having them increase the required witnesses to 4 instead of 3. It is also made obligatory to bring 4 witnesses against an adulterer. Neither Judaism nor Islam accepts the testimony of a single witness against another. You must remain completely loyal to the Lord, your God. Deuteronomy chapter 18, 13. The Lord, your God, will raise up for you a prophet like me from among your own people. You shall heed such a prophet. This is what you requested of the Lord, your God, at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, "If I hear the voice of the Lord, my God, any more, or ever again see this great fire, I will die." Then the Lord replied to me, "They are right in what they have said. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their own people. I will put my words in the mouth of the prophet, who shall speak to them everything that I command. Anyone who does not heed the words that the prophet shall speak in my name, I myself will hold accountable." Deuteronomy chapter 18, 15-20. Deuteronomy transforms prophecy, viewing the prophet as the spokesperson of the Torah and defining Moses as the paradigmic prophet. The Lord will raise up prophecy by divine election, that God alone appoints the prophet, makes the prophet a defendant of all institutions and able to change them, which emphasize various cases in which the prophets are to be executed. More than one prophet is clearly intended. Like me at Horeb, Moses established the model of prophecy as mediating God's word to the people. Thus, the prophet, like the king, would be from among your own people. The prophet's oracles do not originate from other deities, from dead spirits, from skilled manipulation of objects, or from the prophet's own reflections. Having established an Israelite model of prophecy, the law provides 2 criteria to distinguish true from false prophecy. The first is that the prophet shall speak exclusively on behalf of God and report only God's words. The second makes the fulfillment of the prophet's oracle the measure of its truth. That approach attempts to solve a critical problem. If 2 prophets each claim to speak on behalf of God, yet make mutually exclusive claims, how may one decide which speaks the truth? The solution offered is not free of difficulty. If a false prophet is distinguished by the failure of his oracle to come true, then making a decision in the present about which prophet to obey becomes impossible. Nor can this criterion easily be reconciled with 32, which concedes that the oracles of false prophets might come true. Whoever wrote this commentary on the Bible section of the prophet like Moses might have forgotten the essential issue to distinguish between a prophet like Moses and a false prophet. A false prophet whose oracle had come true will ask people to worship idols afterwards, trying to change the Lord's commandments, and goes against them, making people go against the commandments of the law. A prophet like Moses will not do that. A prophet like Moses will command people to worship the same God and affirm the laws of the Torah. He would never ask people to take idols as gods instead of God, going against the Torah's first commandment. A prophet like Moses will apply the law as prescribed by Moses, not adding to it or removing from it. If you besiege a town for a long time, making war against it in order to take it, you must not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. Although you may take food from them, you must not cut them down. Are trees in the field human beings that they should come under siege from you? Deuteronomy chapter 20:19.